Hey, what's up guys? You decided to sell, you're not entirely sure how you're going to sell. Maybe you just didn't get the offer price you're asking for. Maybe somebody approached you and said, hey, will you consider seller financing? And you want to know the basics. The 101, how do I get started? What are some things to consider? I have an existing loan, can I seller finance? Stay tuned. We're based in Texas, so a lot of our things that we post about are very Texas specific. Always consult your estate, and when it comes to like taxes or attorney things and those kinds of things, talk to your tax person, talk to your attorney to dive into details. We're investors, so we're going to be covering how we've structured deals in the past and give you some things to look for. Whether you're an investor or whether you're a seller, this video should help you kind of understand the basics of seller finance, what a wrap is, and the benefits to a seller. Again, all from the seller's perspective in this video. So what is seller financing? Seller financing, very simply, is the seller who's worked hard to gain equity in that house over time has now created an agreement with a buyer where they outline some simple things. What is the interest payment that's going to be paid in addition to the principal value? What is that repayment schedule? Are we going to do, for example, a 30-year loan? Are they going to go through the entire 30 years, or are we going to have a balloon payment maybe after 5 or 10 years where that entire balance is then paid off? You're not stuck waiting for 30 years to get all your money back. And then, of course, the consequences of default. What happens if you don't pay? Good thing in Texas is foreclosures are super fast. From the moment that notice is sent, if they don't pay and restore that balance, you could be foreclosed in as little as 42 days. Usually 60 days would be the long end of getting that foreclosure done. So it's pretty fast in Texas. What is a wrap loan? Wrap loan is for people who have an existing mortgage in place. So here's an example. Let's say I'm a seller and I have a house I'm going to sell for $100,000 that's financed to somebody, but I have an existing loan in place for $50,000. So what you could do is essentially wrap that loan and have a bigger loan that covers that. And usually when you do that, you're going to use a servicing payment like escrow services where they're going to cut the check to your bank, and then you get that check from that service company upon every payment that's made by that buyer, right? So ideally here is you're making a seller finance loan that is wrapping that existing loan. There can be some risk to that, so make sure you dive in and ask to how that works and what your buyer is ready to do or how they're going to address those issues if they come up. Huge thing to help people get deals done, especially if you're a buyer and you happen to have one of those gold mine interest rates that's sub 4%. Wrap loans are a powerful, powerful tool to help you get more dollars for your house. So let's talk about the benefits. Huge benefits for seller finance. In here, one is you're getting not just the price, but you're also making the interest payments on that. So you walk away with a lot more dollars in your pocket at the end of that term. Number two is down payment. If the buyer is willing to put a down payment on that house, it can do a few things. One, it gives you security that they have skin in the game and they're actually going to take good care of that house, make sure they got tenants in there and doing some things there. But the other thing too here is it gives you a little bit of cash immediately. You can go pay off debt, credit cards, student loans, whatever, and have that at your hands. Then, of course, you got your tax benefits. Tax benefits are all over the place depending on your personal situation. Talk to your tax advisor and see if it will benefit you. Fast sale, these can go super fast. There's no bank approvals or other things that often need to be done because you're the seller. We basically would work with an attorney to draft up a contract and have that promissory note in place, and boom, it's done. And then, of course, it's passive income. You don't really have to do much. It's even more passive than a rental property. A rental property, you still have to deal with tenants, broken toilets, leaky roofs, other things like that, or a vacancy and trying to fill out and vet and find who's a good person that has a good credit score, all that kind of stuff. With this, it's done. Once that deal's done, now that buyer has all full responsibility of that house. It's their job to get it figured out. And if they don't make the payments, you foreclose on them. It's very clean and simple in terms of your level of involvement in a deal. And then last of all, it's a powerhouse of negotiating. So unlike a traditional cash offer where you have, let's just say you're a seller, I have a specific price set in mind, and then it's pass fail on that price, right? Or the terms of the contract. On a seller finance deal, you can change all sorts of things to make it mutually beneficial for you, the buyer, and the seller. Now, why is this? Because the bank is not involved. Essentially, as the seller, you become the bank, and you can then negotiate things like interest rate, term, timing, payments, all of those kinds of things in addition to the price that could help you get more dollars in your pocket. So hopefully this video helps. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot us a note, email, phone, contact us on our website, and we'll be in touch with you.